Okay, so today, let's dive into the world of personal shoppers in India.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it is. So we've got this great interview with Priya Rajesh.
Okay.
She's head of operations at StyleBuddy.
Interesting. And they're based in India.
Yeah, they're really trying to shake things up over there.
I see. And what's StyleBuddy all about?
So they offer personal shopper services, like having a fashion expert help you find the perfect clothes.
Oh, okay. Like a stylist.
Exactly. But what makes it so fascinating is that shopping in India, traditionally, it's been such a personal thing.
You're right. It's often like a family affair.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes you wonder, are things changing? Is India ready for this kind of service? That's what we'll be unpacking today.
That's a great question. I'm curious to hear what Priya has to say about that.
Well, she actually talks about that in the interview.
Oh, perfect.
She really highlights the rising disposable incomes, a growing middle class, especially in that 25 to 45 age range.
Hmm. So there's more spending power, but is that the whole story?
Right, and Priya points out that it's not just about having the money, but also this growing influence of social media.
Interesting.
Especially for young professionals and new mothers, there's this desire to, look good online, present that perfect image.
I see. It's about perception.
Exactly. And she also mentioned people prepping for big life events like weddings.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
Like when you want to look and feel your absolute best, a personal shopper could be a game changer for those moments.
Totally. It sounds like StyleBuddy is tapping into some pretty significant trends in India.
They really are. And what I love is how they emphasize that it's not just about clothes.
Yeah, it's got to be more than that.
Right. It's about creating a whole style, a look that aligns with your lifestyle, body type, everything.
So it's truly personalized.
Absolutely. They're all about finding the authentic you and expressing it through your fashion choices.
I love that. So how does it actually work? Do they take you shopping?
Well, they offer both in-store shopping at major malls, which I think is really cool.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but they also do virtual sessions online for people who prefer the convenience of shopping from home.
Smart. So they're covering all the bases.
Exactly. But here's a question I keep coming back to. Why now? What's making this the right time for StyleBuddy's concept to take off?
It's all about timing, isn't it?
Right. And Priya links it to India's digital expansion. Think about it. People are more exposed to global fashion trends than ever before.
Makes sense. And we can't forget the impact of those fashion influencers on social media.
Oh, absolutely. Those platforms are playing a massive role, setting the bar for how people want to present themselves.
It's aspirational, right? Everyone wants to look their best, especially online.
Exactly. But I think it goes deeper than just trends. There's a growing emphasis on self-care and presentation in India.
Oh, yeah, like investing in yourself.
Right. Whether it's fitness, wellness, or even fashion, people are realizing the importance of taking care of themselves inside and out.
And feeling confident. I bet that plays a big role.
Definitely. And Priya pointed out that this shift is happening alongside a change in shopping culture in general.
Ouch.
Well, Indians are becoming more open to professional services in areas that were traditionally, super personal.
Like fashion, you mean?
Yeah, it's like hiring a personal trainer or a therapist. People are seeing the value in having an expert guide them, even in areas that were once considered, DIY territory.
Okay, so that makes sense why personal shopping is gaining traction.
Yeah. But I know what some of our listeners might be thinking. How can a stranger truly get my why style?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, can someone else really capture your unique taste?
It's a valid concern. But StyleBuddy seems to be tackling that head on.
Oh, good. How are they doing that?
Their whole approach is centered on authenticity. It's not about trying to fit people into a mold, like some cookie cutter style.
Right. It's about finding what makes you unique.
Exactly. And Priya explained their process. It starts with a deep dive into the client's life, their goals, their fashion dreams, even their insecurities.
Wow, that's pretty in-depth.
It is. Then they combine trained personal shoppers with AI-powered tools to create a truly personalized shopping plan.
So it's high-tech, A&D, high-touch.
Yeah, I like how they're blending those two worlds. But Priya was also very honest about the challenges.
Oh, I bet there are a few.
Definitely.
Right.
Like educating consumers about the value of personal shopping, a lot of people still see it as a luxury, not an investment.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like, why pay for something I can do myself?
Exactly. But it's like investing in, say, a personal trainer or therapist. It's about feeling good, presenting your best self to the world.
I like that analogy.
And then, of course, there's the challenge of building trust, especially when it comes to sharing personal information.
Oh, yeah. People can be hesitant to open up about their style struggles.
Absolutely. But StyleBuddy is addressing that by being transparent about their data privacy measures.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, and they really emphasize customer care. It's all about building a relationship based on trust and mutual respect.
That's key, especially for a service as personal as that.
It really is. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the concept, but let's get real. What difference is StyleBuddy making in people's lives?
Yeah, let's hear about the impact.
Priya shared some amazing stories, and one that really stuck with me was about this woman who was getting ready for job interviews.
Oh, nerve-wracking.
I know, right? And she was so insecure about her wardrobe, she just didn't feel confident.
I've been there.
But after working with a StyleBuddy shopper, not only did she nail the look, but her confidence skyrocketed.
Wow, that's amazing.
And guess what? She aced those interviews.
No way.
It just shows how powerful feeling good about yourself can be.
It's like a total transformation.
And Priya told this other really heartwarming story about a new mom struggling to reconnect with herself after giving birth.
Oh, that's such a huge transition.
I know. And StyleBuddy helped her revamp her wardrobe, and through that process, she rediscovered her sense of style, her confidence.
That's beautiful. It's like fashion helped her find herself again.
Exactly. It's more than just clothes. It's about self-discovery, empowerment.
So powerful. It sounds like StyleBuddy is on to something really special.
They really are. But what about the bigger picture? What's next for them? And for the future of personal shopping in India? Priya has some big plans.
Okay, let's hear it.
She wants to expand to more cities, offer even more services, integrate more AI tools into their platform.
So they're going all in on technology.
It's all about making personal shopping more accessible, more appealing to a wider audience.
And more innovative, I bet.
Oh, yeah. And get this. They're also thinking about partnerships with malls and retailers to create these truly integrated shopping experiences.
Whoa, like taking it to the next level.
Imagine malls not just for browsing, but for personalized shopping sprees with a personal shopper by your side.
That would be amazing, like a curated experience.
Exactly. It's like they're envisioning a future where personal shopping is mainstream, not just a niche thing.
It makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
As people get busier, more image conscious, maybe this kind of service will become as normal as, say, hiring a personal trainer or a financial advisor.
It's a fascinating thought. So is India ready for this personal shopping revolution?
Well, all signs point to yes. You've got this growing market of consumers hungry for personalized experiences, willing to invest in things that make their lives better.
And companies like StyleBuddy leading the charge with innovative approaches.
It's like a perfect storm.
It really is. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, but I want to leave you with this. Could personal shopping become as commonplace in India as hiring a personal trainer or a financial advisor?
It's definitely a possibility, especially with how things are evolving.
Right. It's a question worth pondering. Join us next time as we continue our deep dive into this fascinating trend.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, this idea that getting style advice could become as common as, say, going to the gym.
It's a real shift, right? We're so used to figuring out our own style, but maybe there's a better way.
Right, like why not have a fashion expert in your corner helping you make the best choices?
And imagine the impact this could have on the whole fashion industry. It's huge.
Oh, absolutely. Like everything from how clothes are designed to how we shop could change.
Yeah, and I remember Priya talking about those partnerships StyleBuddy is exploring with malls and retailers.
Oh, yeah, she mentioned that. What was her vision again?
Well, she was talking about malls being redesigned, not just for browsing, but for truly personalized shopping.
Ah, I see. So it's like you go to the mall, and instead of wandering around aimlessly, you've got a personal shopper there to guide you.
Exactly. And maybe there are special lounges for personal shopping appointments and curated collections, and maybe even AI-powered fitting rooms.
Ooh, AI fitting rooms. What would those do?
Well, imagine you try on a dress, and the AI suggests shoes and accessories that would match perfectly.
Oh, that's cool. Like a virtual stylist right there in the fitting room.
Exactly. And think about the possibilities for small businesses and local designers.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, personal shoppers could become these champions for independent brands, helping them get more exposure.
It's like having a stylist who also has all this insider knowledge about the best up-and-coming designers.
Yeah, it's like having your own personal fashion scout. But beyond those industry changes, I'm also curious about the impact on sustainability.
Ooh, good point. How could personal shopping play a role there?
Well, think about it. Personal shoppers help you build a wardrobe with pieces you truly love and will wear for years, right?
Yeah, so it's not about buying a ton of cheap clothes that fall apart after a few washes.
Exactly. It's about quality over quantity and having a more meaningful relationship with the clothes you own.
I like that. It's like the opposite of fast fashion, you know?
Exactly. But even with all the potential benefits, there are also challenges, like accessibility is a big one.
Yeah, because right now it's seen as this luxury service, right?
Right. So how do we make it more affordable, more inclusive?
That's a good question. I wonder if we'll start to see different tiers of service, you know? Like maybe you can get a basic online consultation for a lower price.
Or like a virtual shopping session instead of going in person. That could be more affordable.
Right, and maybe technology can play a role in making it more accessible to everyone.
Totally. Like, what if there were these AI-powered styling apps that could give you personalized recommendations?
Hmm, based on your body type, your style, and your budget. That would be cool.
It's like having a virtual personal shopper in your pocket.
Hmm,
But even with all the tech advancements, I think the human element is still crucial.
definitely. I mean, fashion is so personal. It's about more than just algorithms.
Exactly. It's about connection, understanding, and helping someone express themselves through their clothes.
And for that, you need a real person, a trained professional who can guide you.
I agree. But speaking of training, that's another important aspect to consider, right? Like, how do we ensure personal shoppers are qualified?
That's true. As this industry grows, we need standards, maybe certifications, to make sure people are getting quality advice.
Right, like maybe personal shopping academies or something.
Yeah, or professional organizations that set ethical guidelines and best practices.
And of course, data privacy is a big one. People share so much personal information with their shoppers, so that has to be protected.
Absolutely. Transparency is key.
Hmm.
People need to know how their data is being used.
So we've talked about the amazing potential, but let's be realistic. Are there any potential downsides we should be aware of?
Ooh, that's a good question. Like what?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is the potential for like reinforcing unrealistic beauty standards, you know?
I see what you mean. Like if the focus is on looking perfect all the time.
Exactly. And that can be dangerous, especially with social media already putting so much pressure on people.
Right. And it's important for personal shoppers to promote body positivity and
Hmm.
encourage people to embrace their unique style, not just chase trends.
I agree. And what about the risk of overconsumption? Like, if shoppers are incentivized to get people to buy more, that could be a problem.
Oh, that's a good point. There needs to be a balance, right?
Yeah.
Like helping people find what they need without pushing them to buy things they don't.
Yeah, it's about being responsible both to the consumer and to the environment. You know, as we've been talking, I've been thinking that maybe the future of personal shopping isn't about like replacing our own style choices, but enhancing them.
Hmm. Tell me more about that.
Like, imagine having this trusted advisor who helps you navigate the fashion world, refine your style, make smarter choices.
I like that. It's like they're not dictating your style, but empowering you to make the best choices for yourself.
Exactly. And it's not just about the clothes themselves, but also the confidence and empowerment that comes from feeling good in your own skin.
It's about expressing your true self through your style.
Yes. And that's something everyone deserves to experience. So we've covered a lot in this part, from the impact on the industry to those crucial ethical considerations.
It's been a great discussion. I'm really starting to see the potential here.
Me too. But before we wrap up, let's quickly recap the key insights from our deep dive so far.
Okay, sounds good.
So we've talked about the rise of personal shopping in India, those driving forces like rising incomes and social media, and the potential impact on consumers, the fashion industry, and even our own relationship with style.
And we explored StyleBuddy services, the challenges they face, and those amazing stories about how they're helping people. We've also talked about the potential benefits, like, sustainability and accessibility, but also the downsides and the importance of ethical considerations.
It's been a really insightful conversation, but we're not quite done yet. In this final part, let's try to really envision the future of personal shopping. Like, how could this trend, if it really takes off, reshape our whole relationship with fashion?
That's an interesting question. I think one possibility is that we might move away from, always chasing those fleeting trends.
You mean like not feeling the need to constantly buy the latest it bag or whatever?
Exactly. Instead, we might focus on building a wardrobe that's more timeless, with pieces that we truly love and that reflect our personal style.
I like that idea. It's like instead of feeling pressure to keep up with what's in, we're creating a style that's uniquely ours.
And that could have a big impact on the fashion industry, too. Like, imagine if consumers are no longer chasing those fleeting trends.
Do you think brands would change how they operate?
Definitely. I think we might see a shift away from mass production and towards smaller, more curated collections.
So focusing on quality over quantity.
Exactly. And we might see a resurgence of like traditional craftsmanship and artisanal techniques.
Because people will be valuing those well-made, unique pieces more.
Right. And that could have a positive environmental impact too.
Oh, yeah. If we're buying fewer clothes, but they're higher quality and we keep them longer.
It could lead to less waste, more mindful consumption.
I love that. But there's something that's been bugging me. What about social pressure? Could widespread personal shopping make people feel even more pressure to look perfect all the time?
That's a valid concern. But here's a different way to think about it. What is personal shopping done right could actually help relieve some of that pressure?
Really? How so?
Well, think about it. Instead of constantly comparing ourselves to those, airbrushed images on social media, we'd have an expert helping us embrace our unique features and develop a style that makes us feel good.
So it's not about conforming to some external standard of beauty.
Right. It's about celebrating individuality and using fashion to express your true self.
Now that's a personal shopping revolution I could get behind. But what about the career opportunities? Could personal shopping become a real, sought-after profession?
Absolutely. As the demand grows, we'll need more skilled professionals who can provide personalized style advice.
It could be a really exciting field to get into.
Totally. And think about all the related industries that could benefit. Tailoring, alterations, even personal branding, and image consulting.
It's a whole ecosystem built around helping people look and feel their best.
It really is. But of course, as with any emerging trend, we need to be mindful of the ethical considerations, sustainability, and making sure it's inclusive for everyone.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about the clothes, it's about empowering people to express themselves and feel confident.
And that's really what personal shopping at its best is all about.
This whole conversation has got me thinking. Maybe this personal shopping trend is a sign of something much bigger happening.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, maybe it's a reflection of this growing desire for personalization and human connection in a world that's becoming increasingly digital and impersonal.
I see what you're saying. Like we're craving those experiences that are tailored to our individual needs and desires.
Exactly. And personal shopping taps into that. It's like the opposite of mass consumerism and that one-size-fits-all mentality.
It suggests that maybe we're moving towards a future where individual expression, authenticity, and those human connections are valued more than ever.
And who knows, maybe one day having a personal shopper will be as normal as having a family doctor or a therapist. Well, listeners, that's all the time we have for today, but the conversation doesn't have to end here. What are your thoughts on the future of personal shopping? Head over to our social media and let us know. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep expressing your unique style.